Alright, much brew about nothing. Playing some Blister Coil slash Double Strike Blistering Rage. Keep it. Got a creature, got some Apostles' Blessings, no Double Strike spells, but we got creatures and can protect them, which is pretty good. So Mountain, Blister Coil, Goo. Affinity, eh? Springleaf Drum. Well, let's land, Kiln Fiend, get in with Blister Coil. Better to play Kiln Fiend because Swift Spear has haste anyway. Apostle's Blessing is unique because it can give things protection from artifacts as well as colors, which is pretty helpful. And Ravager for our opponent, tapping the Ornithopter. Interesting. Alright, Mountain, Swift Spear, swing with the team. Opponent's gonna block Kiln Fiend. Alright. They're gonna start sacking things. Sacks Ornithopter. Well, we will Titan Strength our Swift Spear. Get a bunch of triggers. So everything gets their prowess abilities. And Swift Spear gets +3/+1. Opponent's going to activate Inkmoth. So they're planning on Arcbound dying and then putting all the counters on the Inkmoth Nexus. That's Teamer Battle Rage. Well, I think we leave that on top. But now I think we need to Apostle's Blessing to save our Kiln Fiend. Because Teamer Battle Rage, Apostle's Blessing, Kiln Fiend should be lethal next turn. Through essentially anything our opponent can do, minus like a removal spell. So artifacts. So we get in for 9. Ravager puts the counters on Inkmoth. Think it's going to be too slow, though. Well, luckily this wasn't the nut draw from Affinity. Let's see what they got. I mean, they could have a... They need a Galvanic Blast, I guess, for Kiln Fiend. Ravager. They could still have Galvanic Blast. I don't think we can really play around it, though. I think we got to go for it. Swing with everything. See what our opponent does. Blocks, blocks. Alright. Teamer Battle Rage. I guess this works. Because if they try to Galvanic Blast, we can Apostle's Blessing. So we're pretty safe here anyway. Oh, they're going to activate Inkmoth. Alright. Well, they are dead. Let's just Apostle's Blessing now. And that's lethal and a half. Apostle's Blessing on artifacts. everything gets pumped up. Teamer, Battle Rage, Double Strike, and Trample. So we're going to trample right over that Arcbound Ravager. So we're hitting for 13, I believe. 7, 14. Oh, we're hitting for 17. I don't think our opponent definitely can't sack enough artifacts to stay alive. They can attempt to, but they're going to end up short. And even if they do, their board's going to be empty. So they're trying. They get the Ravager up to 3 power. It just doesn't matter because of Trample and Double Strike. Sacks. So they're soaking up 4 of our 17. They can sack Inkmoth. So first strike damage resolves, normal damage resolves, and that's all she wrote for Affinity. In game 1 at least. This deck is interesting. When it's good, it's really good. I think we want Gut Shots against Affinity. And maybe Smash to Smithereens. Probably go down a couple of our ritual effects. Yeah, especially on the draw, let's go down rituals. It's going to be harder to win on turn 2 on the draw against Affinity, since they're going to have a bunch of janky blockers. And then we'll just go down a couple Manamorphos, try it like that. Alright, Blister Coil. It is all on you, Blister Coil. This hand's actually pretty good with the Teamer Battle Rage, assuming our Blister Coil lives. Springleaf Drum, Inkmoth. Ooh, slow Affinity hand again. Oh, and the Apostle's Blessing. Oh, alright, Blister Coil, stay alive. So we can't win on turn 2, but we can potentially... Well, can we win on turn 2? No, we can't win on turn 2. We can potentially win on, like, turn 3, maybe? Ooh, Plating is bad. That's going to gain our opponent a lot of life. Land. So here we could Mutagenic Growth. Mutagenic Growth, Assault Strobe is like 10 damage. We just don't have enough. We need one more pump spell. Problem is they're going to start gaining life next turn. 1, 2, 3, 4, potentially 5 life. We could just Mutagenic Growth, Assault Strobe, hit for 10, and then hope to draw stuff to win next turn. That's probably best. Mutagenic Growth. Might as well get in some damage while we can. Assault Strobe. Hit for 10. If we had one more pump spell, like a Brute Strength or a Titan Strength, we could have had the turn 2 win. Would have been an additional plus 8 damage. Now I'm not sure, though. I'm mostly just worried about Vault Skirge Cranial Plating is going to undo a lot of our work. I guess we need a Titan Strength or something. We need another big pump spell. Although, we won't be able to cast it and cast the protection spell. Alright, our opponent gets in for 4. Up to 12. We're down to 14. Oh my god. Well, now we want a Gut Shot. Kiln Fiend. Alright, land. Attack with Blister Coil. Get in for 1. Kiln Fiend. Pass the turn. Oh, we're gonna die though. They're gonna 14 us just by activating all their creature lands to make them into artifacts. Oh, and we can't do anything about it. And Apostle's Blessing, can't use it to fizzle the Cranial Platings. It only hits creatures that we control. Ravager, well, I guess Ravager does it as well. They can just sack the Ravager. Equips up the Cranial Plating. Hits for 11. Maybe they don't do it and they play around Gut Shot. Alright, they play around Gut Shot. They're tapped out. I don't know what we can draw to win here, though. So we can Swift Spear, Mountain, attack with the team. I don't think this gets us all the way to lethal, though. We're going to hit for a lot, but I think we're going to end up just short of lethal. Activates Ink Moth. Blocks. Kiln Fiend. Well, we Apostle's Blessing, the Kiln Fiend. Get a bunch of triggers. We'll give it pro artifacts, but we're going to end up just short. Trample, double strike, etc. So we hit our opponent for a ton of damage, but they gained just enough life. We needed a spell there instead of a land, and we might have been able to do it. Or a spell there instead of a Swift Spear. Yeah, we were one spell short. Well, that was interesting. Ended up being really close through our opponent gaining a ton of life. They gained 11, 12. They gained 11 and they gained 4, so they gained 14 that game. And we still almost did that. We still almost got the kill. Alright, we'd like to play first? Sure. Alright. This is fairly reasonable, although we don't have a way to really get past opposing blockers. So let's just Blister Coil go. Ink Moth, Ornithopter. Did they finally get one of their explosives hands? Welding Jar. Signal Pest. Meh, kind of explosive. Well, Mountain, Swift Spear. Let's just pass for now. I think we'll upkeep Titan Strength, probably. Depending on what our opponent does. Another creature land. Blink Moth and Ink Moth now. The team back together. Ravager. Ay. Is our opponent going to start attacking? No. Do we want to upkeep Titan Strength? Probably. Let's upkeep Titan Strength, the Swift Spear. Get some triggers. Get a Scry. Ooh, Brute Force. Alright, we'll keep Brute Force. Land. Let's attack with both. See what our opponent does. Start trying to whittle through their board, I guess. Getting artifacts off the board does help, just because they pump up the cranial plating, which can gain a ton of life. Did our opponent choose not to block? Can we win here? Well, I guess we're going to go for it, see what happens. Titan Strength. Oh, if only we could draw it. Well, let's put it to the bottom. Brute Force. And Mutagen. Take that, Affinity. Oh, you should have blocked. You definitely should have blocked. That is 21 points of damage, opponent. Oh my god, that was a good... Alright, just like, oops. Alright, we win. Just look at the absurdity of that situation. I have to go back over this, because it's too good. We untap, we start the turn with 3 cards in hand, and 2 1-power creatures. 2 1-power creatures, and our opponent at 20 life. It's turn 3, our opponent's at 20, we have 2 1-power creatures, and we go to combat, our opponent's like, alright, we don't gotta block the 1/1, so what are they gonna do? And all of a sudden, we 21 our opponent, and they die. On turn 3, no double strike spells, no protection spells, and no Kiln Fiend even. Just with 1/1s. It does not get much better than that.